Drew Timme, the 4th time he's played in this championship game. Mark Few, 24 years as the head coach of Gonzaga, 24 WCC championship game appearances. These two have played a lot of classics over the years, and let's hope we get another one. Zags, get the ball as we are underway.
I think one of the things we're going to watch early is the pressure bothered St. Mary's last night from BYU. It really bothered them up in Spokane when Gonzaga extended out their defense. How will St. Mary's look to attack that tonight? And their success will be key.
Timme came up short with the first look. So the Gales with the rebound, and St. Mary's has the ball for the first time. Our starting lineups brought to you by CDW. Johnson, all the success he's had. Mahaney, the young freshman, playing in his first title game. Dukas, Bowen, and Mitchell Saxon, the all WCC big man. Down low, and he went baseline and had the ball knocked out of bounds, but it went off of Saxon, so that's an early St. Mary's turnover.
An early turnover, but a dead ball turnover that allows them to get back and set up their defense. When they struggled up in Spokane, there were too many live ball turnovers in which allowed Gonzaga to get out and run in the open floor. Dictating the tempo of this game, as it always is so key.
So now Gonzaga, Rasir Bolton down the lane. Bolton got sort of hung up in the air, had nowhere to go. And Logan Johnson, the conference defensive player of the year, comes away with the ball. We talked about Mahaney early in yesterday's semifinal game against BYU. He got going early. Here he drives to the basket, took some contact, missed the shot, and Drew Timme grabs the rebound. Timme likes to bring the ball down the court himself.
All the bigs do for Gonzaga. I mean, Anton Watson, it's a big man's dream to feel like you're a guard at least a little bit. And in this program, they feel like it's an advantage because the skill sets of their players.
Now Timme goes to work again against Bowen. They're going to call offensive foul. There's Drew Timme's head coach, Mark Few. As we said, 24 years, 24 appearances in this championship game. You can break down his career in the incredible numbers in a lot of different ways. As Gonzaga sets up some pressure for the first time, and they trap Logan Johnson. They left Alex Dukas wide open, but he missed the three.
I do like the fact that they look to score off of that instead of what they did last night, which was they break the press, pull it back out, and have a shorter shot clock to try to run their offense. You have to make your opponent pay if they're going to extend out pressure.
They just did not do that against BYU. Anton Watson coming off a really nice game. And that's when he usually finishes. So early on, 2 minutes without a bucket. Maybe the nerves of a championship game. Maybe just so much familiarity between these players, these two teams. Johnson backdoor to Bowen, who traveled.
He's got the yips right now, Dave. You and I talked about it. He hesitates on his three-point shot, and that time, that's a great backdoor cut with a great pass. Go up for the layup. And instead, he overthought it, and when he was overthinking what he should do instead of just reacting to what was available, it caused the travel.
He's been such a good player for St. Mary's, and he still is. But on the offensive end, he is a lost soul right now, Kyle Bowen. He does not want to shoot the ball. Defending against Timme. Will get deeper post position. Julian Strada, the Las Vegas native. Floater doesn't go. And the long rebound tracked down by Dukas. So we still haven't had a point. Two efficient, good offensive teams. Almost 3 minutes without a basket. Mahaney against Timme. Mahaney had his shot blocked by Strother.
I like trying to get downhill. I think he's going to be, with the length underneath and the athleticism that Gonzaga does have, comparatively speaking to his size and stature. Jump stop on two, try to get that fadeaway jump shot like he had against BYU.
Here's Dukas, too strong with the three. Dukas, who had such a good game the other night, last night, hardly missed a shot. Nolan Hickman three, good!
Technically speaking, a neutral site game, just in case you're wondering.
Technically. It will not play out that way. The Zags always bring an enormous crowd here. This year, no different.
Kendall South, as I like to call it. They packed the place.
Logan Johnson working against the young guard Hickman. Johnson gets St. Mary's first basket of the game.
And Logan Johnson was the one player that was sensational up in Spokane for with St. Mary's Gales. He's got to be aggressive tonight, and you've got to put the ball in his hands and allow him to get downhill, because he did that early and he did it often up in Spokane.
Watson gets fouled by the big man Mitchell Saxon. His first foul. There's the St. Mary's head coach Randy Bennett, his 22nd year, the second winningest coach in the history of the West Coast Conference. We got the top two in this championship game matchup. And he's got one of his best teams that he's ever had. He's had a lot of good ones. Watson dunks it right on Saxon. Great pass from Bolton.
He just does everything for him, and he has the ability to take over a game with his assertiveness and just the way he can impact it at every level, whether it's at the defensive end, on-ball screen coverage, offensively passing, lifting up and spacing the floor. And, of course, he has the ability to score.
Johnson tried to work through Timmy, switched to his right hand and scored with Timmy in his face. Well, last night in the semifinals, relatively quiet offensive game. You mentioned the performance in Spokane. Down the stretch, Logan Johnson was scoring with big numbers. Watson down low, Timmy. The catch and his first basket.
Poor communication that time. Bowen got caught up and ran into his own guy, and then that created enough space. And Drew Timmy catches the ball that low, it's an automatic two.
Automatic. That's what has him 3 points away from the all-time Gonzaga scoring record. Saxon, nice look, and the extra pass. Mahaney in the corner. Too strong on the three. Rebound knocked out to Dukas. St. Mary's has had some good looks from the outside, and not one of them has gone down yet. Johnson gave it up. This time Logan Johnson shoots the three. That one no good. Watson fighting for the rebound, and they're going to call a foul against St. Mary's.
I think that one's going to go against Mitchell Saxon. Watson on the glass, securing the defensive rebound. Watson making sure his hands are ready.
And the program scoring record, guys.
It might have been a little awkward if he just set the record last night and they said, well, Drew, we got something for you, but it's under the bed in the hotel. We'll give it to you tomorrow, maybe. They have it here tonight. He's 3 points away from sitting atop that list all by himself. 2 points away from tying the great Frank Burgess.
Big news right now, though, is Mitchell Saxon's on the bench with 2 fouls. Remember, he had a no points, no rebound performance off in Spokane. I think he had 2 points. But he had no impact in the game whatsoever. And they need the first-team all-conference big to play like a first-team all-conference big. And now, unfortunately, he's on the bench with 2 fouls.
And the turnover, the pressure forces the first turnover. Johnson fouls Strother, score the bucket, plus a free throw coming.
Well, we saw the press be disruptive last night in the second half for St. Mary's. They were unable to break it with confidence, and you pick up your dribble in these awkward positions on the floor that limit your opportunity for vision and options. They want to go side to side and look to attack right away, but they're not swinging it side to side, and they're dribbling and allowing the double team to come at them.
3-point play for Strother, and a quick 12-4 lead for the Zags with more pressure here. So a bad couple minutes for St. Mary's. Mitchell Saxon gets his second foul. He has to go to the bench.
It's where Aiden Mahaney has to grow, is handling that pressure and understanding how he can push it, try to attack it a little bit, pull it back, look over the top, and make some plays.
He's such a natural scorer, and Randy Bennett says, yeah, he does need to work on some of those point guard traits. Here goes Johnson, shot clock winding down. Really tough shot. Rebound. Watson just overpowered Kyle Bowen. Just ripped it away from him. Timmy on the bench. He's tied the Gonzaga all-time scoring record. Ben Gregg, who had a really great semifinal game, is in. Malachi Smith with the left hand. Good. And this is a 9-0 run for the Zags, who lead by 10.
See, what the press also does is it shortens up the opportunity to have to defend the on-ball screen action of St. Mary's. It's 14 minutes. That's the first on-ball screen. And why they like to work late in the shot clock, they like to force you to have to defend multiple sides of the floor.
Tell you what, Josh Jefferson, late in this season, has started to emerge. Just a freshman, like Julian Strother. He's from here in Las Vegas. Gets his first basket just off the bench.
He missed all the summer with an injury, and it set him back at least at the start of the year.
Mahaney reached in to try to help Jefferson defending Watson. Mahaney committed the foul. So now some fouls starting to pile up for the Gales. They've committed 4 team fouls. Mitchell Saxon comes right back in the game. There might not be a coach in the country more willing to play players in what we usually consider foul trouble than Randy Bennett.
He doesn't believe in fouling out his kids in the first half of games. And he says, look, if they're going to foul, they're going to sit down eventually, but I'd rather have them out on the floor. And I think with Mitchell Saxon, you need his length to help protect the basket. He just got to be smarter.
Strother 3 off the back rim, and it goes down. What a bounce. Smile on his face. That might be the highest bounce I've ever seen for a ball that eventually went through the hoop.
The Zags have made their last 7 shots. They're getting everything and anything they want early in this game against one of the best defenses in the country.
Mahaney's got to be aggressive here. He goes down the lane, kind of flipped one up. That wasn't the best effort for Aiden Mahaney. Saxon does get the offensive rebound. Here goes Jefferson to try to dunk it home, and he draws the foul.
I like the strong move right there by Jefferson. A little bit of strength and power attacking the rim. Speaking about attacking the rim, but the press and the extension of the press, the shortening up of the ability to operate their offense with the fluidity in which Randy Bennett wants has been ever present. But the young man at the free throw line right now, I think he's going to be an outstanding player moving forward in this program. He's already a very important piece coming off the bench of being productive. He hit a big 3 in Moraga against Gonzaga. He hit a big 3 the other night to help advance them into this game. And he's provided a little something off the bench already in this contest, and they need that, especially with Saxon in foul trouble and Bowen struggling at the offensive end.
They only have 8. He's got 4. So Josh Jefferson, some unexpected offense from him, a guy that you do think is going to be a really good player eventually. Strother, that floater game, he's so good at that.
Well, and that's an example of what Randy Bennett told us today at shoot-around. Their on-ball defense right now, he feels 7 out of 10 times in the on-ball screens, they're doing it properly. But they need to be 9 out of 10 for them to have success tonight. And that time on the on-ball screen, nobody made it difficult and allowed Julian Strother to get downhill.
Let's see if Mahaney can get it going a little bit. Aiden Mahaney flips it up and in off the glass. Had one of the great stretches of the year for any player in the country in the Gales win against Gonzaga late in that game. Malachi Smith, air ball. Watson, it came to him. He saved it in bounds. That was very fortunate for the Zags. Now Watson going to attack against the guy who's got the 2 fouls. It goes off of Watson. Well, I thought it went off of his leg. It went off Saxon's leg.
And Drew Timme will check back into the game. You're right, Dave. I mean, you look at that stretch that Mahaney had, and we had the stat last night that in the 4 meetings between BYU and Gonzaga, he only had 4 points in the first half of all 4 of those games combined, and 46 in the second half. Has 2 here tonight. They need to get him involved.
Timme traveled. Tried to dribble there with Kyle Bowen, who came right back in the game as soon as Timme came in, forced the turnover. I think, again, that's worth emphasizing that point you just made. Mahaney, he's young. He's on a team full of experience, veteran teammates. He's been very deferential early in games. That's a kick ball, so no turnover that time. St. Mary's needs him to be more aggressive. He is their best, most skilled scorer. They have other good scorers, but he's their best guy.
Yeah, Logan Johnson's been a great scorer in recent weeks because he's been aggressive and attacking the paint off the top. But Mahaney can do it in such a variety of ways.
They get the handoff from Jefferson. Hunter Salas matched up against Mahaney now. Johnson, the drive middle, kind of slipped and lucky to draw the foul. Got bailed out a little bit there. Logan Johnson to the free throw line. One thing St. Mary's did not do well at all, and it helped BYU come from way behind and almost steal the game in the semifinals with shoot free throws. St. Mary's struggled at the line as a team. First one does go down. We got you covered on Selection Sunday, and we're just days away. All starts at noon Eastern on ESPN. College basketball live to get you ready for the day at 6. Reese and the gang look at a men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced. You got bracketology, and then at 8, the women's field of 68 is revealed. Also streams on the app. Of course, that's all Eastern time. So Johnson made them both. Timme, one bucket away from the all-time record. There it is. Drew Timme is the leading scorer in the great history of Gonzaga basketball.
Just an amazing career and one of the all-time greats in program history.
Abe Mahaney, nice pass, extra look. Jefferson, wide open three, and he missed it.
He hesitated.
Yeah.
Don't ever hesitate. You see a player hesitate on a shot, don't even bother closing out. They're going to miss it. They can't think. You got to just let it go.
St. Mary's is 0 for 5 from 3, and all of them have been open looks. All of them.
Yep.
So that obviously is going to have to change. Greg will shoot the 3. That's an air ball. There goes Jefferson. He'll spin back middle and then throws it to Sean Farnham.
I was open. Came up short, though. Couldn't get to it. But Drew Timme, over the course of his career, has just time and time again gotten the ball underneath, elite level footwork. You get him to the left shoulder, able to finish up over the top. That was an easy one for him, but what a tremendous career. And you talk about a player that has shouldered being in the spotlight, whether it's through his NIL, whether it's through his brashness on the floor. But his ability to lead this team and play with so many great players and still accomplish what he has.
Great pass. Salas dunks it home, and he is a brilliant passer for a big man.
One of the more underrated traits that he has is his ability to pass.
Marciulionis in for St. Mary's, helps Mahaney break the pressure. Well, we got a long way to go, but a lot of things going poorly for St. Mary's in the first 11 minutes of this game, and a lot of things going well for the Zags.
One of the biggest ones is they can't stop Gonzaga from scoring in the paint. That's a problem.
Mahaney rejected by Ben Gregg. He hit it off of a teammate. It goes out of bounds.
Watch Drew Timme. You see the ball. He could go score that. Nope, just dump it down. My teammate's cut and able to finish up over the top. And then here's the block. It goes right off of Kyle Bowen's head, and somehow they give it to St. Mary's still.
Gales only have 1 to shoot, and it's not going to matter. So it's a shot clock violation. Mark Few not happy with that call. Look, I get it, but that was an unusual play. You don't see a play like that.
That was a spike.
Often.
That was like a volleyball spike.
5 turnovers already for St. Mary's, which for them and the pace that they play with, that's a big number. Smith probing. Timme against Bowen. Here goes Bolton down the lane. He got fouled on the floor. I think by Marciulionis.
It's just too easy, though. I mean, they're straight line driving St. Mary's right now and getting in the paint time and time again. And what that does is it can force your back line to shift. It forces them to go in rotations. And when you get in rotations, you often end up with a mismatch that does not work in your favor.
And the inbound play. Salas open 3. That one is off to the side. No good. He's become a much better shooter. Didn't look like it on that one.
And the 5 players on the floor right now for St. Mary's, they only have 2 points with all 5 players that are on the floor right now. It has been a struggle for St. Mary's to find any rhythm.
Mahaney's 1 for 5 shooting the ball. Nobody else out there has made a field goal.
Yeah, Dukas, who was great last night, is 0 for 2. They really gave him a good 3-point look. He had wide open, but they haven't been able to get him involved at all.
Marciulionis misses the first of 2 free throws. Son of Sarunas Marciulionis. Just a sophomore. St. Mary's thinks his best basketball is ahead of him, but he's an important part of this team. Good free throw shooter, and he missed them both.
When St. Mary's goes in their scoring droughts, and right now they're over 2.5 minutes, it's a problem. And in the NCAA tournament, they're really going to have to do something to limit the inability to score. And some of that might be to speed up their offense a little bit and take the first shot that they have. It's a good shot.
Timme makes his move against Bowen. Kind of a running hook shot. Ball tapped back by Watson. Here's Smith, 3. Good! Timeout. timeout, St. Mary's.
So many great players that have come through that one. They have to beat Virginia to get into the NCAA tournament. Otherwise, they may be on the outside in. A potential semifinal matchup between Duke and Miami could be one of the better games that we see all of Champ League if the bracket holds true to them.
Meanwhile, here in the WCC, St. Mary's got to get it going. There's been an ugly start. Marciulionis almost just fell down, kind of twisted his ankle. Pressure hasn't been as big of an issue in terms of just chaos. Logan Johnson will drive the lane and just wildly miss the shot. Man, point blank range. I don't know what happened.
The Zags are doing a great job of tipping, getting deflections. I think you got to take advantage here if you can attack.
Yeah, St. Mary's got nothing easy. Maybe a transition bucket. I mean, even when it looks easy, Logan Johnson had a layup. Dukas trying to hit Saxon. Tough catch, but he did make it. And then Saxon had it deflected.
He's just got to be stronger and finish. There's got a little bit of toughness that's lacking right now from St. Mary's.
That's unusual because you sort of think of the Gales program, that toughness. Kyle Bowen, the embodiment of that, trying to defend Timmy. And he did a good job that time. It didn't matter. Timmy scored anyway.
Something about this building, something about these games. They always bring out the best in Drew Timmy.
It was on this court against this opponent 4 championship games ago, 3 years ago, that Drew Timmy really emerged in the national spotlight. It was his coming out party as a freshman. Saxon, great pass, and he dunks it home.
Finally got a little bit of space, and Saxon, no hesitation, stronger move than the one that we previously had. He could have done the same move the last time, going up and trying to finish over the top.
There's Watson again. Mitchell Saxon's got the 2 fouls. So Anton Watson, I think, is looking to be aggressive. He missed the shot, fought for the rebound, missed that. Foul on the putback. We'll see who that's against. That's against Bowen, not Saxon. His first foul. Not finishing on the offensive end for the Gales near the basket, having a hard time cleaning up the defensive glass, that's very unusual for St. Mary's.
18 of their 28 have come in the paint for Gonzaga. That's what they do so well. And Anton Watson is, just as we take a look at Drew Timmy's championship performances, some great ones here. That first one was great. Vital, Timmy time. Oh, it's Timmy time. I mean, he was so fired up.
He was 7 of 8 from the field as a freshman who hadn't played big minutes all year. Gonzaga was so deep and experienced.
It was fun to watch, but I'm trying to pay off Anton Watson. I mean, honorable mention. Even Randy Bennett was like, there's no way he's honorable mention. He should have been first team. He's an outstanding player that has been such an important part of Gonzaga's success this year. He's always around the ball getting deflections.
Marciulionis, shot clock winding down. Jefferson gets fouled by Watson, or maybe that was a foul. Yeah, I think it was against Anton Watson. So 15-point lead for the Zags. 5:13 to go here in the first half. 20 back on the shot clock. Gales' offense just has not looked smooth. Alex Dukas baseline. There's his first basket. They need that.
And he's a guy that could get going. And he needs to get going. He can make some shots.
That's going to be a backcourt violation, a turnover, and a sloppy one.
And they need to find a rhythm offensively, and I think it's really on Alex Dukas, 44. He can hurt you in the mid-range, but he's really good at finding the ability to stretch you from the outside. He's had a couple of clean, good looks. We'll tighten this thing up and get it under 10 going to the half. I think with as poorly as St. Mary's has played, I think they'd feel good about that.
Marciulionis finds Jefferson, and he throws it away. So that's his second turnover. I thought he was going to go up and try to score the ball.
Should have been a reverse layup. And then if you're going to make the pass, you got to make the pass with 2. You extend it away and you start to lose control of it. And you're not solid with the basketball. It leads to a pass into the front row.
Aiden Haney's been on the bench for a while, and he's had a tough time of it in this half. another. Falls down. That's a travel. And another Zags turnover.
But can the Gales capitalize on it with points at the other end? It's a good stop. But right now they've got to be able to figure out how they want to attack this team. And the press has caused them problems. They're getting into their offense later. They're a little bit hesitant.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's been better from St. Mary's tonight against that press. Not as harried, not as frenetic, but still, here we go. They're kind of just getting into offense with the shot clock at 14. Hickman right on top of Alex Dukas. Bowen, who does not really want to shoot the ball right now. Logan Johnson cut off on the baseline. Switch to the right hand. Bowen, offensive rebound. Hits Marciulionis. Little step through, flip up, no good. Rebound Watson. Out of that in his first half. St. Mary's not finishing around the rim. Timmy went back door, catch and score.
Yeah, that's just the big on big passing, the relationship, the high-low pass. They work on it every day. Just beautiful chemistry between those two bigs.
This game playing out a lot like the game in Spokane did just over a week ago at the end of the regular season. Zags really controlled that one. Marciulionis will shoot the three. No good. Ball tipped around. Dukas comes away with it. He'll shoot the three. That one goes down.
See, that's what I'm talking about. He's got a quick enough release and the size to shoot over the top, and he needs to start playing with that swagger that we saw him play with the other night. But right now, they got to get stops, and they got to shore up the paint.
Yeah, Zags are just piling up the points inside. Nolan Hickman gets into that paint area, has to get it back out.
Trying to mix up coverages and try to show different looks to Timmy. He's been really comfortable so far.
Bowen reached around and gets called for the personal.
Well, the skill set, whether it's against the press, having your big men bring it up the floor and initiate your offense.
Well, Coach G said he was not pleased with how his team did defensively. As a whole, they had to be better. So that was something where they were trending in the right direction from that point. It's been an emphasis since that point as well. We were seeing them go over that in their shoot-around today. It's not just about the offensive end. They know going deep in the tournament, they can win if they have both sides of the ball taken care of.
And I think part of that goes back to the reason why Mark Few schedules the way that he schedules. You know, they put him through a gauntlet in the non-conference. So many big-time games, and they got exposed. But when you get exposed, you have two options. You either remain the same or you get better. And this is a program that consistently figures it out and gets better, and they've gotten better at that in the floor.
Timmy made both free throws, so under 2.5 minutes to go. St. Mary's trying desperately for something positive here. Watson went for the steal and committed the foul from behind. Been all Zags here. That's his second personal, so that's a big whistle. He's going to come out of the game. Mahaney went a long stretch on the bench, and Aiden Mahaney, this is another one of these first halves where he's just had a hard time getting it going. He's been such a second half scorer for St. Mary's.
You better hope the whole team's a second half scorer tonight.
No kidding.
I mean, it has been a struggle.
And really unusual in a lot of ways. Shots like that, which normally go down, are not going down.
St. Mary's has been a better rebounding team this year. They've been able to get on the offensive glass a little bit. One of the things Gonzaga is doing is they're just knocking the ball out. If they can't go grab it with two, they're just trying to punch it out, and they're going to count on their guards swooping back in to get the glass cleaned up.
Salas down low, and the extra pass was a really good one. Ben Gregg will go to the free throw line.
Ben Gregg had a great game in the semifinals.
He did. He made 4 threes.
I went up and asked him, I said, did you ever think about asking him if they were going to guard you? And he laughed and goes, at least once I thought of it. He goes, the biggest news from the other night, Sean, was the fact that my dad is so pleased and so happy that you mentioned his Twitter account and all the pictures that he shows of me being a young kid. He goes, my brother, I was on a text chain. I go back to the locker room after the game. I looked at my phone. I'm like, what is all of this about? He goes, so I don't appreciate that, Sean. I said, it's noted. It's noted.
He's a good shooting young big man. He made both free throws there, and instead of cutting into the lead, St. Mary's is falling farther behind here.
Important role to have Ben Gregg be efficient, though.
Yeah.
Because they do need some depth and production off their bench. Quality minutes to be able to give Drew Timme or Anton Watson the opportunity to get a breather.
And he forced to give it up. Greg Chase Dukas out on the perimeter.
Great job tagging by Hunter Salas and then allowing Greg to get back to Saxon down low.
Dukas kind of fumbled the ball. Really tough shot. That was good defense from Malachi Smith. Johnson went for the steal. Just over a minute to go. Gonzaga extending the lead. Ball swatted. Timme puts it back in. This is the biggest lead for Gonzaga. They're up 18.
So impressive with the way that they're moving the basketball. 9 assists on 13 made field goals. Couple offensive putbacks. Gonzaga has dominated and controlled this game almost from the start.
And St. Mary's offense just has had a terrible 20 minutes. Hey, you give the Zags a lot of credit for that. Timmy's had a monster first half. Dukas catches, strong move, missed it. How many layups? I don't know if some of them have been contested, some of them with contact, but how many layups has St. Mary's missed in this first half?
They are 2 of 7 on layups so far here in the first half.
You had the actual answer.
I have a cheat sheet next to me. It's called a computer.
Down low, Timme with another
wasn't
good
a Stanford-educated man like you, Mr. Fleming.
Really? Wow, you actually had information.
Few and far between, partner, but it happens every now and then.
And he's second personally. He's got as many fouls as points in the first half.
This is the second 3-minute scoring drought that we've seen from St. Mary's in this first half. So just put that together. It's 6 minutes without scoring against Gonzaga. It puts so much pressure on your defense, and it makes life so much more difficult for you. You're not going to outscore them, but you have to be efficient in what you're wanting to do offensively, and it has not been that way in the first half. And that's an example right there. Yeah. I mean, just secure the rebound, gain the possession. You got 24 seconds left, and now instead, Drew Timme comes right back up off the bench and comes back into the game.
Yeah, all the stuff you're saying is so true, and yet, in a lot of ways, for all the good that Gonzaga has done, St. Mary's has not been able to execute just the simple stuff. Grab the ball, make a layup. Even those things have been hard in this first half. So now they have to defend for another 20 seconds here. 4-second difference, game clock, shot clock. And Mark Few wants to let this clock roll a little bit. Mahaney's got the 2 fouls, remember, guarding Nolan Hickman.
And they're going to bring Saxon, who also has 2 fouls, up to the ball.
Hickman went by. Ball up off the rim, knocked around, ball's loose. Here comes Mahaney. Johnson couldn't get a shot off. So the horn sounds. The teams will go to the locker room. A championship game in Las Vegas, utterly dominated in bursts. You figure the Gales are going to have to get a lot from him offensively if they have any chance.
Dave, there's not a single player. Actually, I'll take that back. Joshua Jefferson made an impact offensively, but he had the turnovers. Not a single player in the starting 5 played up to their level in the first 20 minutes. They've got to come out here in the first 4 minutes of the second half and really start to lock in defensively and offensively start trusting each other, move the ball.
Dukas, contested 3, no. Rebound. Anton Watson grabs it.
That's his 8th rebound already in the game.
Yeah, and he doesn't, he's spent some time on the bench. Timme got that post position. Offensive foul. Huh, I didn't see that one coming.
He said he hooked him.
I don't think Drew saw it coming either.
Against this press, they've got to start looking to play a little bit faster. Again, I'd like to see them try to attack to score. And the press is really not designed to necessarily turn you over as much as it is to slow you down.
Way short, Mahaney. found Timmy. Another bucket for Drew Timmy.
What a smart read by Nolan Hickman. A simple dump down, quick short arm pass to set up Drew Timmy.
Everything looks so easy for Gonzaga right now. Everything looks so hard for St. Mary's. And shots from point blank range. Not close. Totally out of sorts. You just don't expect this from a St. Mary's team. It's 26-6. Co-conference champions. Had a great year. Hickman, no. Alex Dukas wasn't looking for the ball. He does get it. Now Kyle Bowen's going to drive to the bucket, lay it in. There you go.
They don't want to run innately, but you have to be opportunistic, and especially with this large of a deficit, you do have to create more possessions here in the second half because you can't play at your normal pace. There won't be enough possessions.
You've said it for 2 games now. Timmy, count the basket. And a foul.
It's just so impressive to watch this team as he drives the hole, just so strong. You know, a lot of times people talk, and when I do radio interviews and stuff like that, we talk about Gonzaga. What kind of pro is Drew Timmy going to be? I'm not certain. I don't know. But I know this. He's a really great college basketball player. You know, and he's a winner. He's a competitor. And he shows up every single night.
In a lot of ways, my answer to that question is who cares? Nice pass, Mahaney to Saxon, who had it stripped away.
Well, sometimes we don't live in the moment. Like, we want to push everybody out of college basketball, or what's the future look like? What's this? How about enjoying the present? And the present is he's one of the best players in the country. He's named first-team All-American, I think, by Sporting News today. Not going to be the only one that he gets that honor from.
They call a foul against Timmy here. I think I saw the number, and that should be the 3rd against Timmy. So he may be coming out of the game here. Ben Gregg is going to check in. 74 official weeks where they've had a poll during Drew Timmy's career. 30 of them, not half, but 30 out of 74 weeks, his team has been number 1.
I mean, it's incredible. And that's not just about him, obviously, right? Bowen hesitated on that. Just catch the ball and go up.
Kyle Bowen's he's got the thing right now offensively. He does not want to shoot the ball. Hickman 3. Good! He does. He wants to shoot it. He's played really well. He has outplayed Aiden Mahaney.
Mark Few has pushed all the right buttons for the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Saxon drives. Saxon missed the layup right there at the rim. Incredible.
The largest lead of the game.
Getting bigger by the minute. Look at how fast Gonzaga's playing Bolton. Okay. It's all looked beautiful until right there.
Just the ability, a little hesitation, you're shot faking and there's nobody there, and that allows Watson to then close up the gap and block that shot.
Kyle Bowen goes to the bench here. Randy Bennett might have a little issue here going forward when St. Mary's plays in the NCAA tournament. Kyle Bowen has been a warrior for St. Mary's for years, but they're playing 4-on-5 right now offensively, the way his confidence looks. Saxon having another tough game. Missed that one from point-blank range.
One of the things we talked about this year is the lack of length on the inside for Gonzaga. But what you're seeing from the Zags tonight is the attention to closing up space. And as soon as the ball gets to the paint, you have multiple players closing up windows and contesting those shots.
Ball went right through the hands of Mahaney. Got it back. Jefferson, 3. Good. He's going to have to play more, I think.
I agree. He's going to space the floor. He's going to shoot it with that level of confidence.
You pointed it out in the first half. He hesitated on one of those and missed it. When he's just caught it and shot it, he's been outstanding. Watson catches it and shoots it.
The floater game, always good for the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
No team celebrates that more than they do.
They love the floater.
They love it. They got some guys who are really good at it. Logan Johnson knocked Watson to the ground. There was no whistle. Logan Johnson can't buy a bucket right now. What is he, 2 for 10 from the field in the game?
Well, the team's 2 for 10 here to start the second half. And we talk about the first 4 minutes. What are you going to do to eat away the lead? And the answer so far has been nothing. It has all been Gonzaga.
I think they're trying to be more aggressive going to the rim. They can't finish. Watson with a hand in his face. He's really, really good.
One of the more under-heralded players in the country. 71% shooting so far here in the second half for the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Mahaney draws a foul.
A little bit of a statement opportunity for Gonzaga. You know, they've read the headlines. They've seen the headlines. They're not on the 1 or 2 seed line like they normally are. Oh, my goodness, what is wrong in Spokane?
Played his college ball first at the University of Oregon, got hurt, thought his career was over, went to Seattle U to finish out his career, and actually got a chance to play again even with a major injury. Coming back to the West Coast, he will be the West Coast Conference commissioner going forward.
One of the things he brought up was the conference right now with BYU leaving means that there's only 9 teams left in the conference after this season. He said they're going to be proactive. 9 is a less than ideal number for him.
And he makes a couple free throws. Really quiet game for this superb freshman for St. Mary's. I'm excited to watch Stu Jackson go to work in that job. There's nothing in the sport of basketball that he hasn't seen. And the WCC's got schools who have well-balanced athletic programs. This is a basketball league with great history. Jefferson swats the shot away. He's been St. Mary's best player, I think. Julian Strother, no good. Rebound. Marshallonis rips it away and then gets fouled by Ben Gregg, reaching in. Well, we watched BYU. You mentioned the Cougars. BYU in this league for 12 years. Last night, their final night on the basketball side in the WCC. They fall to St. Mary's.
And they fulfilled their role in this conference to a certain extent. I know from their perspective, they never won a conference tournament or a conference championship in the regular season. But the improvement that you saw in the overall strength of the conference, it helped Gonzaga. It helped St. Mary's because those were quality opportunities in conference play. And the conference moved up to historically usually around like that 7 or 8 line as far as conference strength, which was important to getting multiple bids year in and year out.
Yeah, everybody always talks about trying to raise the level in this league to meet Gonzaga. And that is true. But I think BYU added some urgency to that task for everybody else in the league. I mean, look, they play in an 18,000-seat arena. They sell out for almost every game.
And they will be missed.
They made everybody in this league better.
And I think that's part of what Stu Jackson now has to take over and look at is how do you replace that? Can you replace that? And is it strength in numbers? And who are those schools that are out there that he thinks could enhance and add to the brand of the basketball brand in particular of the West Coast Conference? Herb Sendek's done a great job with Santa Clara. I mean, last year they had Jalen Williams, a first-round pick, a lottery pick. Brandon Pajemski, the co-conference player of the year this year in the conference, likely to be a first-round pick.
Santa Clara, the Broncos, may well have back-to-back years with a first-round draft pick. That's pretty remarkable. 13 minutes to go. Gonzaga, by the way, you want another number that's impressive about this run of success under Mark Few?
Sure.
I was hoping you'd say yes. Jefferson 3, short, rebound. Dukas tried to flip it up and in without falling down. Here comes Gonzaga with an advantage. What a move by Smith. Went right by Marshallonis. Wow. 147 consecutive games when they've led by 10 or more at halftime without a loss. That's going to be 148 tonight.
Think about this. We've almost played 28 minutes. We played 27.5 minutes so far in this game. St. Mary's has 26 points.
And that's what, Angel talked to Mark going to the locker room at the end of the first half, and that is immediately what Mark wanted to talk about, was even our offensive success tonight has started on the defensive side.
They're shooting 16% from the field here in the second half.
St. Mary's is shooting 24% overall for the game. They've made 9 shots in the game. 9.
And Drew Timmy's made 8.
Marcialonis, jump ball.
If this team competes like this, and look, this is not the most talented, deepest Bulldogs roster that we've seen, right? I mean, you talk about some of the guard play that we've seen in recent years. It's been historically good. You talk about Chet Holmgren. There's so many great players. Brandon Clark, Rui Hachimura. You can go down the list, Sabonis. But this team this year, they've improved as the season's gone along. And the acceptance of some of the roles, I think, has been a vital part of it. And the wanting to compete at the defensive end of the floor and the consistency that you've seen grow there. It's going to be a fun March.
I think the Zags have a chance to really make some noise. Ben Craig! A little shake and bake from the big man to hit the 3. Just utter, total domination in this game. Marcialonis 3. I mean, not even close. Mahaney will try. Aiden Mahaney finally hits one from outside.
And he's just struggling all evening long. 2 of 7 shooting, but good for the freshman to see one go down. But it really doesn't matter because they're not sustaining any stops.
No. Which is very rare when you say that about St. Mary's. Smith kept possession. He'll go to the free throw line.
Depth has been a topic of conversation. Some of those guys that understand their role. Malachi Smith, a lot.
Overall, he said, I don't care about the scoring record. It's this team. What makes him so special beyond just what he does and the accolades that he gains?
I mean, I think he's just here for the brotherhood and for the team. I mean, his favorite assist is actually, he wants an assist. Like, he loves watching other people succeed and being a part of it. And so I think that's the spirit of GU, and I'm so glad that he's been able to be here and foster that.
Thank you for your time. Dave and Sean, how far is he or close to breaking the assist record? Is that a question?
Well, he's going to have to come back and play another year. I don't know if there's enough NIL money to make that happen.
I think the money would be there, but
Timmy said that on his podcast already. He's done.
I know, he's done. Drew's mom and dad, and Drew's dad was the one who said it there. Hard to think back to that first bucket. Every team that's played the Zags over these last few years is going, yeah, no kidding. Missed shot at the rim again for St. Mary's.
But I like the fact that Bowen didn't hesitate that time and was aggressive. Good block shot, but he needs to shoot that with confidence.
He shot that 3 and just bricked it.
All right.
You feel for him.
The Timmys, and they do such a great job. Their daughter, Kendall, by the way, an outstanding volleyball player.
Oh, okay.
Megan, the mom, always posting the videos up. But they divide and conquer sometimes between volleyball tournaments and the basketball games for Drew.
Strother right down the lane. Well, you and I have been lucky enough to get to know Drew so well over these last many years. He's another, I mean, it's time for Drew to move on, but we're sure going to miss him. Chris Howell into the band. Here he comes, at least for one last stint on the court. This will be his last run probably in a West Coast Conference game in his career. The all-time leading Gonzaga scorer. With more games to play. This is not going to be it for him tonight.
You look on the seed line, could be a 3.
Who knows?
Should probably be a 3.
Maybe, depending on what happens this week. This is a great final argument for Gonzaga before Selection Sunday.
Well, you have to balance out the resume, right? So they take the home loss to LMU, and I think that was the one loss they had all season long that everybody's kind of like, wait, what? How did that happen? You know, and credit to Stan Johnson and LMU's program. They beat St. Mary's, BYU, and Gonzaga, only team to do that in the last 10 years. But you have to look at some of these wins, too. I mean, they beat Kentucky. They beat Michigan State. They beat Alabama in Birmingham, Alabama on a night where Brandon Miller goes for 36.
Beat Xavier, beat St. Mary's twice. There's a lot of good wins, a lot. Ben Gregg makes 2 free throws. Ben Gregg looks ready to have a big March, doesn't he?
Yeah, it does. And they need him, too. He came out of high school so much promise. Remember, he left high school early to join the program because they weren't going to be playing because of COVID. So he decided, let's go ahead and start this thing up. And his growth has been sensational.
Chris Howell on the floor for the Gales. That is a sign they're going to count the basket, and then I guess the foul's on Timmy. Timmy's looking up to watch the replay.
And that'll be his 4th personal foul. Not sure what he could have done differently there.
He was standing on his tiptoes to make sure he wasn't in the restricted area.
But if his heels are over the line, it doesn't matter.
I couldn't tell.
I wasn't looking.
4 fouls on Timmy. There was a really good piece that came out today. Matt Norlander, who covers college basketball, wrote an in-depth feature about Timmy's career, sort of the legend behind the guy, all the stories that players past and present have about being around Drew for these last 4 years. Incredible slob. At home, at his locker. Foul-mouthed. Great sense of humor. And beloved by so many around that program.
It is funny because there's been times when we've done interviews where we've taped it before games. And Drew's very comfortable. Obviously, you and I have been around him so much. Yeah. And he'll drop a word that he shouldn't drop in the middle of, say, I'll look at him and be like, don't worry, we can edit that part of it out. But he is who he is. And the Gimme Timmy podcast, he's got his own podcast now. He's been interviewing everybody, including Mark Few.
You go up to Spokane, the only guy who's got more commercial stuff going on than you is Drew.
I don't have any commercials yet, but we can work on that.
Look, I think his mom and dad said it. In some ways, it was an unlikely spot for him. He's a Texas kid through and through. You go up to the inland Northwest to Spokane, Washington, a long way from home. It has been the perfect place for Drew. You got a coach and a program that lets him be who he is.
Yep. And they appreciate and value that. And then, again, as his parents were talking to Angel, he's been surrounded by so many great players. And during this historical run for the Gonzaga Bulldogs, it's been a ton of talent.
I think it was one of those great players, Corey Kispert, who told a story in that piece that came out today about walking out on the court, Drew, as a freshman. Hickman, wow, Nolan Hickman is feeling it tonight.
If he shoots the ball like this, man, that just opens up the offense so much more. The Zags are getting hot at the right time, and this has been a clinic tonight. They are up 30.
Against look, if you're watching St. Mary's for the first time, this is not the real St. Mary's. This is a good team. Give the Zags the credit. Alex Dukas with the bucket. But the story from Corey Kispert, I think, about Timmy was freshmen come into the program, and Mark Hughes kind of intimidating at first. He could be a little standoffish to the young guys. And Drew walked on the court for practice, walked right over to Mark and just slapped him right on the backside. And all the upperclassmen were going, wow, this kid's a little different.
Well, he calls him the president of the Players Union right now because Drew will let him know when they've gone to practice a little bit too long or film sessions running long. He'll be like, hey, coach, we got it. We can move forward now. And Mark's like, okay, well, we'll go ahead and do it.
How many layups has St. Mary's missed in this game? Do you want to give me an actual answer again? You're the guy with the numbers.
3 of 17.
Oh, my goodness. Is that true?
That is 100% true.
Hickman again! He just shrugged his shoulders. One of his best games. 4 of 5 from 3. Gonzaga's still playing hard. Knocked that ball out of bounds. A year for Pitt and Jeff Capel. NC State, Virginia Tech, the final game of the night, and then that one, the Youth Circle, North Carolina, feels like a must-win against Boston College.
It is. I mean, definitely is. I think that Virginia game is a must-win as well. I can't believe it. I just got word that Norlander cut out the fact that Timmy had to wear a 49ers jersey in public as part of that article.
He did.
That is disappointing. How did he cut that part out?
You two had a little side bet when the Niners and the Cowboys played in the playoffs, and we know who won. And Timmy did. He lived up to it, kind of reluctantly.
Yeah, but then he kept the jersey for like 3 weeks. His mom had to give it back to me.
Well, he couldn't find it. It was buried under a 2-month-old pile of clothes in his apartment.
That is true. He only wore it for like 30 seconds, and it did not smell good when I got it back. Dave, you know what? I'm going to say it right now.
Yeah.
Dave, you need to get on the Gimme Timmy podcast. Okay. You have called as many games as any broadcaster in the history of mankind of Drew Timmy's. You can talk baseball with him. Spring training's going on. That would be a great... You got a game tomorrow, in fact. That would be a great thing. They can talk Major League Baseball with you as well as the crew. Gimme Timmy podcast. Let's get it done. Dave Fleming, next guest. Book it.
Maybe we'll wait until March is over. You think he's probably going to be busy the next few weeks? Or is he going to sneak in some episode recording?
He'll definitely still record.
Yeah, one thing about Drew is he can multitask. I think it makes him a better player. I do. I think the fact that he doesn't obsess over every game, every moment, makes him a better player. He plays free and easy. He doesn't put too much pressure on himself.
It's true. He's got the unique ability to not care what anybody says on Twitter about him.
That's a good quality. Anton Watson.
He's got a lot of good qualities.
He does. Another really solid game for Watson. Mahaney, nice pass. Logan Johnson, no. St. Mary's, whether it's from outside, inside, they can't make a shot tonight. Malachi Smith has made a few.
The Zags are making everything. 62% so far here in the second half, Dave. Dominating in the paint. They're plus 20 in the paint.
58% shooting for Gonzaga, 25% for St. Mary's. That's incredible. And they're outworking the Gales. Anton Watson still diving on the floor with 4 minutes left to go in the game with the score 69-35.
How was he not first team all conference?
Who voted? Whoever did doesn't get to vote next year. You and I can vote. Knocked out of bounds. Gonzaga will keep the ball. Anton Watson going to stay in the game or no? He should get a big ovation as he comes out for the final time in this championship game. Some hugs. Nolan Hickman played well too.
Played outstanding. 4 of 7 shooting, all of them from beyond the arc. Balance within their offense.
Smith hits the three.
Well, this is one of those games Randy Bennett's going to look back on and say, I don't want to watch it. I saw it once. I don't need to see it again. It's an aberration of who St. Mary's has been all season long, but it's also an indication of it's March, and the team in blue is dialed in.
So Saxon, finally, one of those layups goes. And Randy Bennett calls a timeout.
The party is already starting.
A little history here tonight.
Yeah, and especially in the season where we're honoring Bill Russell in the West Coast Conference, and his number 6 is hanging right over center court underneath the scoreboard. An athlete who was a champion on and off the floor, a leader who wasn't afraid to use his voice to bring awareness and talk about subjects that sometimes, quite frankly, people didn't want to address. And he was like, you know what? No, I'm going to do it. And it's great to see this crew. We've seen all these guys, and we've worked games with them over the years. They're some of the best officials that the West region of the United States has, and it's great to have them here tonight.
Malachi Smith missed the shot. Well said. I mean, it has been a year where the WCC's done a great job of saluting the life, the legacy of their all-time greatest player. You can debate some other stuff in the history of this league. But the all-time greatest WCC player is Bill Russell. Logan Johnson drives and scores with a foul. So that'll take us to another timeout here in Las Vegas, counting down to another Gonzaga championship from the York
against Baylor. And they want to see him get over the top of that mountain. This year, because of some of these losses, I agree. I think the pressure is off this team. We're not talking about national championship or bust when it comes to the Gonzaga Bulldogs. And because of that, if it plays as free as it has tonight against one of the more stout defenses in all of the college basketball landscape, this has been an incredible performance. I think they just go out and have fun and play free.
And make no mistake, the idea is so silly that playing in the WCC has not prepared Gonzaga for March. Afton Reed scored the bucket. Everybody's involved. I mean, Gonzaga's gone to 7 straight Sweet 16s. 7 straight.
How many other teams have done that?
That would be 0.
Oh, okay.
So the idea that somehow going through the WCC doesn't get them prepared for March, please.
How many national championship appearances in the last 6 years?
That'd be 2 appearances in the national title game.
Right, just so it's been an elite program, and to more so to Scott's point too is playing free embodies whose spirit more than anything on this team.
That would be the all-time leading scorer in Gonzaga history.
Drew Timme. And so when your leader is kind of that carefree, want to have fun, and kind of lives in the present moment at all times, regardless of how things are going, and lets water just run straight off his back, right? It's kind of who this team is this year.
16 straight years of 25 or more wins. This will be the 24th straight NCAA tournament team every year under Mark Few. 11 straight, at least shared WCC regular season titles. They had to beat St. Mary's in the regular season finale to keep that streak alive. They did. And now they've just thumped their rivals here tonight in this championship game. Harris working his way closer to the basket. Dunks it home. Afton Reed.
Everybody's having fun tonight in blue.
Nobody wearing the other jerseys had any kind of fun in this game. Well, before we sign off, we got a doubleheader in the NBA tomorrow, Wednesday, and it starts in New Orleans. Pelicans and Kyrie, Luka, and the Mavs, 7:30 Eastern. Then we go out to L.A. The Raptors taking on Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Kellen Farnham's Clippers. Coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 7.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. My little man's birthday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. A year ago this time, he really went through some tough stuff. I'm excited for my little man to enjoy his birthday tomorrow. Hopefully he gets some good gifts.
Be a better birthday for him this year.
No doubt.
Guaranteed. The world's biggest Clippers fan.
The videos I get while I'm on the road of him watching Clippers games, it's unbelievable. Dave, I'll tell you this too. In this job that we have, we're very fortunate. We get great seats. We get to cover some big games. But it's really always been about who you work with. Angel, it's a pleasure to work for you for the second time. We do it again at the Slam Dunk competition down in Houston. But, partner, you and I have been doing this together at ESPN since day one that I came into this company. You're one of the very best, and it is a pleasure to get to sit here and call these games in the West Coast Conference for the last 13 years with you.
I hope it comes through on our broadcasts. I much appreciate that. I hope it comes through how much you and I enjoy being together, how much we love this conference, these games, these teams, and college basketball. We have fun with it. I hope it comes through.
It is a great, great sport, and it is fun to be able to watch champions get crowned. Few and far between do you have the opportunities during the course of the season to be called a champion. Both these teams were called champions at the end of the regular season in the WCC. Tonight, There was one team that came out focused and driven from the very beginning, and it's the team in blue, and they're going to hoist up the tournament championship.
Is Dom Harris going to hoist up one final shot? No. The last seconds will tick off here, and a layup for Logan Johnson, just totally academic. What a night for the Zags. Incredible all-around performance and domination in this championship game. Once again, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, WCC tournament champions.